Hall of Fame another one?
Brian, appreciate your time. This is the bench starters. I'm James. This is Noel. I'm not sure if you see me around, but I'm most definitely seeing you around.
Yeah.
So I know that you coach at Blue Valley Northwest this year.
Mhm.
I think you was a freshman
Yep.
coach, right?
I was a sophomore head coach.
Okay,
Yeah.
you was a sophomore head coach. So I
Yep.
saw you at the 8-10 varsity thing. I forgot what school was held at.
Oh man. I think it was at Blue Valley, was it?
Ah, it might have been.
No, it might have been like a Shawnee Mission team school
Yeah,
too. I don't know.
yeah.
I'm all over the place, so
Yeah.
but
So,
I appreciate you guys having me on.
oh man,
Problem,
it's
man. No problem.
it's most definitely all love. I know that that you help a lot of players, and for one thing, I love is that you help a lot of kids. So,
Mm-hmm.
I think that's the coolest thing. So like my first question would be, when did you start falling in love with the game?
Right. So I think, it's kind of a crazy story how I'm kind of wound up where I am, I guess. But, very young age, the most uncoordinated dude you will ever see out on the court, and was not very good. And kind of liked playing basketball, but knew I wasn't very good. Went to a lot of camps that didn't really get me any better. It was just kind of those fun go through drills, contest type camps with some good coaches, but never really got anything out of those. Then went to high school, was really prepared to try and play at a high level. And then, through high school, continued to work a little bit and didn't even play a single minute of varsity basketball. So, it's crazy from where I was to where I am now. I would say probably the only reason I didn't play is lack of work ethic, and that's not something I could say I have now. But from there, I wanted to really work my butt off. Dealt with a couple of injuries, worked my butt off trying to play at college level, JUCO even, and decided I had gotten in the gym with a trainer, Victor Williams. I don't know, you guys know Victor?
Yep, I know Vic.
Yeah.
Oh, Vic.
So Vic, I was able to get in with Vic, and he asked just for some help with some workouts. And Isaiah Austin was in the gym. We had a bunch
He's
of
from
college
where?
guys, Dry Horn, just a bunch of guys. And I really fell in love with the training side of it. And being a coach, helping people was really the big thing. I knew at a younger age, like 16, 17, I was like, all right, I know for a fact I'm going to be some sort of coach. I was already doing video and film breakdown stuff for the football team at my school. And they were a really good program in football. So it was just kind of a lot of those, factors kind of played into the part of me wanting to be a coach or a trainer. And the main part of it being wanting to help people reach their goals and their dreams, provide something that I didn't necessarily have, which was like accountability, and being able to stick to the work ethic and the path that you got to take to be really good. So I didn't necessarily understand that. So, but yeah, that's pretty much it. Like I was telling Noel, spent a year and a half after, working with Vic and realizing this is maybe something I really want to do. I spent a year and a half or 2 years with Luke Cooper,
Okay.
Pure Sweat. Spent a lot of time in the gym with him, long days from 8 a.m. to 9, 10 p.m. at night, gym to gym. Lots and lots of knowledge, taking it in. Lots and lots of good players. Shaq Harrison was able to work with him for a long time. I would say a bunch of other college guys. Jacob Gillard, spent a lot of time in the gym with him. Just miscellaneous guys from here and there. Started my own brand, my own name, probably, I want to say 2 years ago from now. And, started building my own brand and my own name, my relationships, and working with college guys and pro guys and a lot of middle school and high school camps.
This wasn't one of the questions, but like I'm one of the assistant coaches at Barstow. So were you able to catch Jacob play any during high school and then now at Richmond?
No, I've watched him a lot at Richmond. Not at high school level. I was in the gym with him quite a bit this summer going into Richmond when he committed. And he's just an animal. He is a stud. He is probably one of the highest IQ players. Some of the quickest hands you'll ever see touch the court. His ability to shift. He's got a lot of wiggle to his game. Really explosive and quick. And he is, I think he had an insane amount of steals this past year as well. Or, this year, last year. I don't know of his accomplishments, but he's had a heck of a career at Richmond. So
and determine if
really
he
happy for him.
Stays in the and then determine if he stays in the NBA draft, he's probably gonna break every record guard possible. You know what I'm saying? Besides rebound, he's probably gonna break every.
He's crazy.
So since you spent this year, so then this was your first year at Blue Valley Northwest, right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
How much knowledge did you gain from being with Coach Fritz over there and all that? Because he's a legend, in the Kansas City and metro area and stuff like that. And maybe there's a legend just in general,
Right. No, he is a legend on all those levels. First off, I wasn't really even. I think when I started training, I was like, I'm never gonna get stuck into like the high school coach position. I was like, I don't want to get stuck there. I don't want to, take a job and stay in the high school level the rest of my life. I don't want to do that. I want to be at the highest level I can. And that was something I held on to for a long time. And, I talked to Luke about this. And again, he's been a great mentor of mine. I talked to him like, man, there's not a lot of dudes that work out during the season, and, get that extra work in. I'm trying to figure out if I should take a high school job. And he goes, let me reach out to Coach Fritz. And I had known of Coach, obviously, but got an interview, got a meeting with him, sat down, and I think within, and this just shows you how big of a legend the guy was, that I realized he is. I sat down and no joke, 30 minutes, he probably had 4 Division I coaches calling him. And it was just mind-boggling to me. Like I knew he had those connections. I walked out of that meeting with a different opinion on taking the job than I did, beforehand. And that explains everything about him. He's a great guy. Lots and lots of relationships show that. And, I've learned so much. One, I'm only 21, so I'm really young. For a coach in general, I'm the youngest coach he's ever hired. So I'm blessed to be in this position, but there's a lot to learn and a lot to grow on. But I think some of the conversations we've had have really helped me grow as a coach, as a person. Just talking about, would he have ever done anything differently? Would he have, changed, what his goals were, changed how he coached, and he's been a huge help this year, taking a lot of knowledge, way more than I ever expected to. So, definitely blessed with the opportunity for sure.
Yeah. So you're 21, you said. So I think I
Mhm.
started coaching. I did AAU when I was like 20, but like my first high school job was like when I was about
Mhm.
20, 21 as well. So, hey man,
Right.
it's so crazy because like you think like like some of those kids you probably could have went to high school with. You know what I'm saying? Like with some of those seniors, you like I was a senior when I was a freshman. So
Right. Right.
it's a way it's way different now since I'm 26. Because now, like,
Right.
so basically next year my brother will be a freshman, so he's where we're like 8 years apart or something like that.
Right.
So it's it's for sure different now, but I'm still
Mhm.
young enough to like I mean I'm still young, so I can still talk to
Yeah.
the kids. They kind of see me more as an older
Build
brother,
a
more
relationship. Right.
yeah,
Right.
more
It's
than a
so
dad.
weird being,
Yeah,
yeah, it's so weird being a 21-year-old because like they don't, and I think something that I've got to kind of get better at is one, I am a professional. I'm a coach, and so relationship wise, those relationships with those kids need to be held to that standard. And so,
yeah,
I saw myself, trying to be more bros than being their coach, and so I learned that a lot this year, how to really manage those relationships,
mhm,
and still be there for the guys
yeah,
in times they need to talk or whatever, get something off their chest. Um, but I think, yeah, for sure, it's definitely a different position than most people get put into. But I'm here to learn from it and adapt to it. So
Hey, no, did you have anything, man?
Yeah, I mean, kind of one of the things I wanted to touch on, coming from just the player side of it, how do people approach you to train them, or do you approach people to work with them to like expand your brand? How do you go about, I guess, expanding your brand?
how do I go about my brand?
Like expanding your brand, like
Right.
do you have people approach you at this point, or do you approach like professionals or college players?
Right. So right now, I would say a lot of people. For a long time, it was me reaching out to guys. Nowadays, I don't necessarily have to do that as much. I
Mhm.
could, and I still try to here and there. If I see a guy that I really like his game, or I think he works really hard, I'll reach
Mhm.
out to him. But and say something. But I think majority of my guys that are I'm working with right now have reached out to me, and so I think it's a really cool experience being 21. And be respected amongst college guys that are older than you,
Mhm.
pros that are older than you, and so a lot kids, a lot of high school kids obviously still reach out to me in middle school, but it's really something I hold high because that's those relationships are the big thing to me. So if I can build those relationships and build that trust, that natural trust, it's they'll go a mile for them, and I'll go a mile for them.
Mhm.
To do whatever they need done. So
That's really dope. Another question I had, as far as as far as your clients, what would you say is the number one trait that a player has to have in order for them to reach their highest potential? Like, what is one trait that because I'm sure you've had clients that you've worked with and you're like, I don't know about this
mm,
guy, but then you've had the clients that are like, oh yeah, he's going to be something. What is the number one trait? What's the difference between those two type of players?
that's really tough. But I would say something that I have really focused on with a lot of guys this summer. Excuse my voice. This summer, and I would say the body control is a huge one. Um,
Mm,
Being able to go up, take contact, and stay on balance and finish. With an extended finish.
Hmm.
Being able to add wiggle to your game and understand how to shift a player just using your body at a high level. The earlier you understand that as a player, I think is huge because you can one you can manipulate stuff to help your offense, to help your team. You can manipulate stuff to help your game. And you start to pick up things and how the defense shifts faster as a player. That's something I didn't understand as a high school or middle school kid.
Neither did I.
So I really try and implement, right. A lot of people don't. And so I try and implement a lot of that into, workouts and the training sessions. So, and really breaking it down and trying to get them to understand, all right, this is what you've got to do to get me off balance as a defender. So, that's a big thing, I think, for sure.
Yeah, I think that's that's really tough. I think one of the intangible things is probably like the super competitive people.
Right,
I think
for sure.
I think if outside, that body control. I never really thought about it that much, but that's for sure dope. But I think one of the intangibles is like being competitive. Which comes competitive is your work ethic. Can you tell me your 3 most competitive players you've coached or you played with or you trained? Or you can do top. You can do 5 or so because it's so hard to pick one person. You know what I'm saying?
Right. One that really comes to mind would probably be Glenn McClintock.
Glenn.
And yep. I've worked with him quite a bit. Built a good relationship with him, and he's I want to say a year or 2 years younger than me, but we have a good relationship. And when I say this, am I able to cuss on here?
Go ahead, man. Yeah.
All right. I just want to make sure I was good. I shit you not. This guy, he locks in. He in his workouts, whether it's in an individual or a group, he is so implanted into, he is so into it that if he has a good rep, not a great rep, he'll get mad at himself, but then he's on to the next one where it's like, all right, I'm going to lock in even more. And the level of attention to detail that he has just in the workouts and the kind of the killer mentality, the Mamba mentality that he goes into games with is just phenomenal. He's worked for everything he's got, and he plays his butt off every time he steps on the court. So that's one of the top ones for sure.
He's at
he's kind of weird in a way.
So he's at the Air Force, right?
Go ahead.
Right.
Air Force prep this year.
Air Force prep. Yeah.
He'll be playing for Air Force, their academy next year. Yeah.
Yep. So he went to, I think he went to Grandview his first year, right? And then he went to Rockhurst for 3 years.
I think so. I don't remember his first year. I hadn't known him then, but
okay.
I'm pretty sure I remember hearing that. But Rockhurst for sure. I saw him the last 2 years at Rockhurst. So.
Yeah, tough. Yeah,
he's tough. I love his game. He's really shifty. He's got a lot of wiggle. Mm-hmm. He can shoot it. Smooth pull up.
Smooth
good finisher. Body control. High IQ, really good player. Another one would probably be tough. I would say probably Christian. He's kind of a gamer, he's really competitive. I think in high school he was just a dominant athlete, dominant player. So coming in and, he is a competitor to the level to where he got that offer from KU. A lot of people thought he would go in and, red shirt and take a year off. I think he proved how big of a competitor he is.
Oh, yeah.
Just through practices and earning a lot of minutes this year. He earned a lot of minutes and he did a lot with it. So really happy for him. He's definitely a really big competitor.
Yeah. Most definitely from seeing him play, I gotta watch him play. I think 2 or 3 times. I saw him play against Grandview, and he played against
Did you at
somebody
that
else.
Grandview game his senior year, that Avila, I think?
Yeah.
That game was crazy.
Man, he got it all, man. He's really tough, man. Like, I mean, just like me and my little brother were just talking about him yesterday. I'm like, man, this kid's 6'7", 6'8", knows how to play the game, can shoot it. I mean, the best thing about high school, he kind of played like the point forward, kind of. You know what I'm saying? Like,
right.
So you know, he really understands how to get his teammates involved, how to play the game the right way, not to be selfish. And he came into KU, like, you know, he hit big shots. He played defense,
Right.
which I think he does not get enough credit for of how he competed on the defensive side, for sure.
Mm-hmm. They were really tough, and he had, like, in my opinion, KU was undeniably probably the number 1 team this year that would have taken it home. So, you know, he got minutes as a freshman going into a program like that. You know, tip my hat to him. He really stepped up. So.
Yeah.
And I guess probably one more would probably be Jacob Gilliard. Jacob's definitely in that conversation. You know, he's a competitor. Goes out. You know, whether it's a pickup game or a workout, he's always locked in, ready to work. So I like him as a player. So.
I got a question for you. As far as watching these players play pickup, because obviously, I mean, you can work out all day, but if you're not, you know, practicing your moves and reps
right.
in real game situations, you have to play pickup, basically.
Right.
What do you like to see players like work on? I know it depends on the player, but what do you like to see players work on when they play pickup? Because I know for me coming up, I never had that structure. It was all just go out there and hoop. Like, it wasn't no like, hey, keep an eye on this, work on this.
Mm-hmm.
What do you like to see players like do in a pickup situation? Like, what do you like to see out of them?
Right, and kind of like you mentioned, it goes for each individual differently. But I think something that I kind of mentioned earlier is, you know, really working on watching defense, watching how they react to certain things you do, and really focusing on, you know, what they can get better at, opposed to what they're really good at or what's gotten them to that position, because it's only pickup. Usually in workouts, that, you know, we work on the stuff they're good at, and then we work on, you know, just as much a 50-50 balance of the stuff they need to get better at. So I like to see guys really go into a pickup game and work on something they're not really great at. You know, that way they get game experience, game feel. All right, I need to get better at this. So when I am in this workout, I need to go harder at this certain aspect of this rep. You know, it's just different stuff like that. It's kind of a tough answer, but that's probably what I could say.
That's kind of what I was looking for. Like, you want the player that you're working out, you want them to not so much highlight what they're great at, but what they're not so great at. If you're not so much of a shooter, I want to see you, you know, squaring your body, getting your legs underneath you, clean release, all of those things. If you just you want to work on what you're not good at. And I think kind of for players that are coming up, I think they need to hear that, because a lot of people take pickup as, oh, it's a competition, so I'm going to win by any means necessary. If you're clearly the best player in the pickup game, sometimes you got to let that go and get
Right.
your reps in and work on what you need to work on. So I think a lot of kids up and coming need to hear that, because I didn't. I just took it as I'm going hard every single play and I'm going to do my best moves always because I want to win. But that's not the point of pickup when you're at that age. So
right. You know, and it's good to go out and compete. But, you know, to a level of what you're saying, I think for sure that something I work on with guys is my bad, I forgot what I was gonna say. I would really, if you're like a big time guy, you know, you're a big name, you're Christian Brown walking into a gym, everybody knows who Christian is and where you're at, right? I think a lot of guys get that in their head sometimes, and that's just an example. Get that in their heads and then go into it trying to be the guy rather than, if they're a role player at their school, go be a role player, be a great, you know, work on being a better role player. How can you affect the game in certain ways? You know, and surrounding yourself, and if you're going to play pickup, surround yourself with guys that want to have the like-minded, you know, passion to get better instead of just going out and playing just to play, you know. So that's something they can do to get better.
Okay, it just gave me like a notice about you know it's only 30 minutes, so so I want to end it with we'll do some quick questions real quick.
All right, rapid fire.
Yeah, let's do your favorite players. Give me 3 of them.
Tyler Harrow, LeBron James for sure. Russell Westbrook.
Okay. What's a motto that you live by?
Be better, do more. One thing my old football coach used to say was live like champions. Act like you're a champion. Work like you're a champion. And you'll be a champion at some point.
All right. And then in 5 years, Ryan Deppen, where do you see yourself?
That's tough. The goal would be on an NBA team, working as a skill development coach, or doing what I'm doing right now, player development, building my own brands, building relationships, training the highest level players I can, and making an impact on the community and the world of basketball. That's the plan. So whatever it takes to do that, I'll take whatever journey it is. So.
Okay. Hey, Ryan, I appreciate hey, man, I really do appreciate your time, man. I know, you know, you be doing homework, you be doing anything, but, you know, you just, you know, set aside 30 minutes for us, man, which is, I'm very appreciative. I most definitely see you around the town. I mean, I follow you on Instagram, and,
for sure.
You know, Mateo talks about you, so,
Mateo,
you know.
shout out my boy Mateo.
Yeah, man, Mateo, man, Matty-O. So, you know, we're the bench starters and logging out, man. Thank you, man.
Appreciate y'all. Take it easy.
Thank you, man.
Take it easy, man.